From a global symbol in climate issues to an activist engaging in confrontation at sea, Greta Thunberg became known for her powerful speeches in international forums. Yet, the summer of 2025 carried for her another path. She left the podiums and boarded a boat heading to Gaza. There, she began a journey of protest and detention, before reappearing again on the shores of Tunisia within the fleet of resilience. But what drove her to this journey? And how did the details of the boat interception and her detention unfold? And what actually happened in Sidi Bou Said when the fleet's ships stopped? At the beginning of June 2025, Greta Thunberg went out to sea on board the British yacht Madeline with 11 activists within the Freedom Flotilla initiative. Days before sailing, she stood on the deck to declare,
"We see that the risks of silence and inaction are far more dangerous than the risks of this mission. We cannot sit and watch a genocide broadcast live before our eyes."
And she added,
"It is a moral duty to use my platform, and we will continue to sail until we no longer can."
These words were part of an interview broadcast live aboard Madeline at dawn on the 9th of June. Far away from the Israeli coasts, the Israeli occupation navy carried out a swift interception operation. Small drones flew over the deck and sprayed a white substance. Then military boats approached, and their soldiers boarded the deck to impose control over the yacht. Madeline was then towed to Ashdod port. There, all those on board, 12 people including Thunberg, were detained and transferred into the occupying state. After less than 24 hours, on June 10th, the occupation authorities announced Greta's deportation out of the country, while some of the other activists preferred to remain under detention and appeal against the deportation procedures. Upon her arrival in Europe, Greta described her detention conditions as chaotic and uncertain, but she stressed, saying,
"We fully realize the risks of this mission. Our goal was to reach Gaza and distribute aid."
And when asked why she agreed to deportation, she answered,
"And why would I want to stay in an Israeli prison longer than necessary?"
She also accused Israel of kidnapping them in international waters, stressing her refusal to sign papers stating that she entered the country illegally. But the story did not stop here. On September 1st, 2025, the Fleet of Resilience set sail, with delegations from about 44 countries and civilian ships heading by sea towards Gaza, among them Greta. Some main ships and logistical support vessels stopped at the port of Sidi Bou Said in Tunisia in preparation for departure eastward. This was accompanied by wide media presence and tight security measures imposed by Tunisian authorities around the marina. Notable figures joined the flotilla, among them Tunisian actor Mohamed Mourad, French MP Marie Mizmor, as well as Zwelivelile Mandela, grandson of leader Nelson Mandela. Between September 8th and 10th, successive developments occurred in the marina. On the night of September 8th, a limited fire broke out on the upper deck of a support ship. The crew managed to deal with it using handheld extinguishers, and civil protection teams arrived to put out the fire quickly. No injuries were recorded, and damage was limited to superficial burn marks. The next day, a second incident occurred on board the British ship, also a localized fire on the upper deck. Video clips showed sparks and limited flames, and fire teams intervened immediately to extinguish the fire without injuries recorded, allowing normal activity in the marina to resume after inspections. Organizers announced that the two incidents were caused by incendiary objects dropped by drones. On the other hand, the Tunisian Ministry of Interior, in its first statement, said the available indicators pointed to the fire being internally caused. But it later described what happened as a deliberate attack, then announced opening an investigation to verify the circumstances and determine responsibilities without directly accusing any party. For its part, the Israeli army did not comment at that time, while the organizers confirmed their commitment to their plan and to continue sailing towards Gaza once the arrangements and procedures were completed. By evening, the Sidi Bou Said Marina was no longer merely a docking place for ships, but became an open square for the people. Families walking the alleys leading to the port, young men raising Palestinian and Tunisian flags, chants echoing in the sky, fireworks exploding, illuminating the fronts of the moored boats. The scene was a collective message. We are not spectators. We are with you. Every flash in the sky and every applause from the crowds was a declaration of loyalty and support. It was as if the whole city came to tell the passengers of the Fleet of Resilience that they are not alone in this journey. And finally, to what extent can a civilian fleet change the equation of a siege that has continued for years?